The 1950 film Harvey follows the kind and eccentric Elwood P. Dowd, a man whose best friend is an invisible, 6-foot-tall rabbit named Harvey. This unusual companionship often causes social chaos and embarrassment for his frustrated sister, Vita Louise Simmons. Vita resolves to have Elwood committed to a local sanitarium, but a series of comical mix-ups, including Vita's own erratic behavior, leads the doctors to question her sanity instead. As the situation unravels, the head doctor, Dr. Chumley, becomes obsessed with meeting Harvey. The film explores themes of social conformity versus individual happiness, ultimately suggesting that Elwood's gentle and foolish way of life holds a unique and profound wisdom. However, I would argue that the film, Harvey, is actually a cosmic horror if you consider the implications. Harvey is a pooka who has reality-warping abilities that he uses to protect his friend but cause chaos around him. But for his amusement?
That's an interesting take on the film Harvey. While it's typically seen as a whimsical comedy, there's a strong argument to be made for a cosmic horror interpretation based on the nature of the character Harvey. Your observation about Harvey being a reality-warping pooka is the crux of this argument. In classic cosmic horror, the central terror isn't a slasher or a ghost. It's the unsettling revelation that the universe is governed by indifferent, incomprehensible, and often chaotic forces beyond human understanding. Harvey fits this description perfectly. Incomprehensible motives. The film never fully explains Harvey's motives. He's not good or evil, he simply is. His actions, like causing a ruckus at a party or helping Elwood escape a mental institution, are driven by an unknown, alien logic. His actions seem benevolent to Elwood, but the underlying chaos they cause, disrupting social norms, creating confusion, and bending the rules of the world, is deeply unsettling when viewed through a cosmic horror lens. Erosion of reality. Harvey's presence blurs the line between reality and hallucination. No one else can see him, which leads to Elwood being institutionalized. This introduces the unsettling idea that what we perceive as reality might be a fragile, subjective construct that can be easily manipulated by an unseen entity. This is a common trope in cosmic horror, where protagonists question their sanity as they grapple with a world that doesn't make sense anymore. The indifferent god. In cosmic horror, the ultimate horror is the indifference of the universe. Harvey isn't actively malicious. He's simply too far beyond human morality to care about the small-scale chaos he creates. He's like a child playing with an ant farm, oblivious to the destruction he causes. The film presents this as a charming quirk, but it can be reimagined as a terrifying truth. A powerful, ancient being is simply toying with humanity for its own amusement. So, while Harvey is presented with a gentle and comedic tone, a shift in perspective reveals a cosmic horror narrative hiding in plain sight. It's a compelling argument that transforms a lighthearted story into something far more chilling.
You make a good point there. Harvey chooses to be invisible to everyone except Elwood, and he chooses to be a 6-foot white rabbit to him. But why a rabbit? Was he able to reach into Elwood's mind and pick a creature that Elwood would like?
That's an excellent question that gets to the heart of Harvey's character. The film doesn't explicitly state why Harvey appears as a 6-foot-tall white rabbit, but there are a few compelling theories based on the play and film's themes.
A rabbit is not a random choice. It carries significant symbolic weight.
Trickster figure. In many cultures, rabbits are known as tricksters. They are clever, quick, and often use their wits to outsmart larger opponents. This aligns perfectly with Harvey's role as a mischievous being who constantly disrupts the social order and the plans of those who want to institutionalize Elwood. He's a master of chaos, and his actions, while seemingly benevolent, often cause minor havoc. Purity and innocence. A white rabbit can also symbolize purity and innocence. This interpretation suggests that Harvey represents a return to a simpler, more innocent way of looking at the world, one that is free from the cynicism and rigid social norms that plague the other characters. Elwood, in his genuine, childlike belief in Harvey, embodies this innocence. Connection to Alice in Wonderland. The most popular theory links Harvey to the White Rabbit from Lewis Carroll's Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. The White Rabbit is a harbinger of the bizarre and the surreal, leading Alice down a rabbit hole into a world of nonsense and illogical rules. Harvey serves a similar purpose, pulling Elwood, and by extension the audience, into a world where the laws of reality are flexible and friendship with the giant rabbit is perfectly normal. This connection strongly suggests that Harvey isn't just a random pooka but a specific archetype designed to challenge our perceptions of reality. Your theory that Harvey can read Elwood's mind and chose a form that he would like is highly plausible. This aligns with the idea of a pooka being a magical, intelligent creature that can adapt to its host. Harvey might have sensed Elwood's gentle, kind nature and his need for a non-threatening, whimsical companion. By choosing a form that Elwood would find comforting and delightful, Harvey ensures their bond is one of mutual affection rather than fear. This ability to tailor his appearance also makes him a more effective companion. As he is perfectly suited to Elwood's specific psychological and emotional needs, it's apt that you raise the concept of the trickster. Harvey's actions are so reminiscent of Loki or the jackal in Native American mythologies.
You've hit upon a key element of the trickster archetype, and it's a perfect fit for Harvey. Trickster figures like Loki, the jackal, and its close North American relative, the coyote, and many others from diverse mythologies share a set of core characteristics that Harvey embodies in a surprisingly potent way.
Boundary breakers. Tricksters exist on the fringes of society or reality. They cross physical and metaphysical boundaries, blurring the lines between order and chaos, gods and mortals, and even sanity and madness. Harvey, as an invisible 6-foot rabbit, is the ultimate boundary crosser, existing between the real and imagined worlds. Agents of change. While their motives may seem self-serving or purely for amusement, tricksters are often catalysts for significant change. They disrupt stagnant systems and force others to confront their own limitations and rigid beliefs. Harvey's antics, which seem to cause only frustration for the staff at the sanatorium and Elwood's family, ultimately force the other characters to reevaluate their notions of normalcy and happiness. By the end of the film, it is the other characters who have had to change their perspective, not Elwood. Moral ambiguity. Tricksters are rarely purely good or evil. They are both creators and destroyers, often bringing about positive outcomes through morally questionable or chaotic means. Loki, for instance, is responsible for the death of the god Baldur, but he also helps the gods by stealing valuable treasures and returning them. Harvey's actions similarly have a dual nature. He brings joy and peace to Elwood, but he also creates social chaos and public embarrassment. Shapeshifters and master deceivers. The ability to change form and deceive others is a hallmark of the trickster. Loki is famous for his shapeshifting, while the coyote often appears as both a man and an animal. Harvey's decision to present himself as a giant rabbit is a form of deception. He appears as something whimsical and harmless, but his underlying nature and power are far more profound and mysterious. The genius of Harvey is that it takes this powerful, ancient archetype and presents it in the most unassuming and gentle package imaginable. A polite, invisible, 6-foot-tall rabbit. By doing so, it sneaks the cosmic horror of a reality-warping trickster into a cozy, feel-good narrative, inviting us to consider whether the forces of chaos are always as malevolent as they appear in myth, or if sometimes they just want to grab a drink with a friend.
And Elwood is the perfect example of the fool. He has no plan and completely trusts that whatever happens to him will always work out for the best. And yet, at the same time, he exhibits an uncanny wisdom about things that truly matter, like love and family.
That's an insightful analysis. Elwood P. Dowd is indeed a quintessential example of the fool archetype, which is a powerful and complex figure found in mythology, literature, and tarot. Elwood's actions align perfectly with the core characteristics of the fool archetype, particularly his naive trust. The fool sets out on a journey with no plan, no fear, and an unwavering belief that everything will work out. Elwood embodies this completely. He has no clear goals, doesn't worry about his finances, and has absolute faith in Harvey, a being that no one else can see. His seemingly aimless wandering and unconditional kindness are a direct manifestation of this trust. Innocence and whimsy. The fool is often depicted as youthful and carefree, carrying a small satchel and a white rose, symbolizing innocence and new beginnings. Elwood's childlike innocence and his whimsical focus on friendship and happiness over social status and material possessions are what make him so endearing. Hidden wisdom. While he appears simple-minded or foolish to others, the fool possesses an innate wisdom that comes from a lack of social conditioning. He sees the world for what it is and prioritizes what truly matters. Elwood's profound understanding of love, human connection, and genuine happiness stands in stark contrast to the stressed, status-obsessed characters around him. He sees and values the good in everyone, a wisdom that is far more valuable than the sanity the others try to force upon him. Elwood's journey is not about overcoming obstacles. It's about his journey becoming the obstacle that everyone else must overcome. His unwavering belief in Harvey and his gentle nature force the people around him to confront their own rigidities and rediscover their capacity for joy and acceptance. In the end, it's not Elwood who is cured of his foolishness, but the world around him that learns to embrace a little bit of his wisdom.